This is your one and only 𝐈𝐸𝐻81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and Sons of the Forest just released a brand new patch with tons of amazing content, and today we're going to talk about it. Let's get to it. So the first and most important thing we've got to talk about is the addition of the _knightV. This is a unicycle, uniwheel, motorized uniwheel. I don't know. It's amazing, and it's one of the best things I've ever seen added to a video game. It is absolutely hilarious and a great way to get around the map, as long as you stick to the roads or open areas. Going through the forest is kind of brutal because it moves fast, really fast. So let's talk about some details about this thing. First off, it's battery operated, so you're going to chew through some batteries. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell how quickly it goes through a battery because you got to look down while you're using it, and that's kind of hard to do because it's easy to wreck in it. If it hits like any trees or large stones, when you're going really fast, you will fly off of it. If you're not going fast, you're fine. So you can kind of catch a little bit of speed, but don't let it get to full speed because the longer you hold down forward, the faster it's going to go. So you kind of got to like hold it for a minute, let go, hold it for a minute, let go. You get the idea. And if you're not going super fast, you actually won't splatter. And if you do splatter and wipe out, whatever you want to call it, you don't actually take damage. You just fall and you have to get up, pick it up, re-equip it, and ride it again. It's more of a nuisance than anything. Now, some interesting things that I've noticed about it. One, you can zip line with it, which is interesting, especially considering the fact that it breaks fall damage. Now, if you are moving forward really fast, when you fall in this, you'll hit wipe out. If you do not move forward fast and you kind of just drop straight down, it breaks all fall damage. So if you're riding a zip line, when you come to the end of the zip line, you stop your momentum and you fall straight down, you re-equip it before you hit the ground and you don't take any fall damage. The other interesting thing about it is it works really well with something else we're going to talk about, which was a new addition, which is the spring traps. It actually launches you higher in the air when you are riding this thing and you hit a spring trap. However, do note you can't be going really fast when you hit the spring trap. You kind of got to be going at a medium speed. If you go really fast, you hit the spring trap and you just wipe out. But if you're going at a medium speed and you hit it, you fly really, really high in the air. And when you land, you just land softly as long as you land straight down. So as soon as you start to see that you are going over the arc and starting to fall back down, stop hitting the forward button, fall straight down, won't take any fall damage. The other thing I noticed is this thing is much better at climbing surfaces than you. It can climb pretty much any surface, which is absolutely fantastic for getting up like the side of the mountain or any of that stuff. Some downsides to it is you do have to carry it around like the glider. It can't go into your inventory, which is relatively annoying, and you can't take it into caves, which is also relatively annoying because it would be really fun to be able to ride this in a cave. If you try to get into a cave, you just step off of it, and if you're holding it, you just drop it. Overall, just in case you couldn't tell, I think this is an absolute fantastic add to the game. I actually like this better than the glider. It seems less cumbersome than the glider. I just wish there was a way to keep track of it better or to even carry it around, because keeping track of this and even the glider is a real pain in the butt. But this is much easier to carry around than the glider. The glider's a little unwieldy, and when you're just carrying it, you can bang it into trees and drop it and everything else. You don't really have that problem with this. The other thing that I really like about this is you are not only fast and essentially riding a vehicle, you can also use your hands and do anything that you would do normally in the game, except you're riding a unicycle. You can fire your guns, you can use melee weapons, you can jump on the zip line, literally anything else that you can do on foot, you can do on this thing, which is absolutely fantastic. Moving on, next up we have the night vision goggles. These things are the replacement for the flashlight. So you start with the lighter, you move on to the flashlight, and then you get the night vision goggles. And I say that because once they are equipped, you can just hit the L key and you will equip them instead of your flashlight or lighter. I think they did an absolute fantastic job with these. This is some of the best representation of night vision I've seen in a video game, and that's it. That's really all there is to them. They're just really good night vision goggles. Do keep in mind that they do use batteries just like the flashlight does, and you cannot wear them during the day. If you put them on during the day or you even look at bright lights, you can't see anything, which I guess is in line with night vision goggles. So that's cool. Yeah, really great, really awesome add there. Next thing that came in this patch was the first iteration, I'm assuming it's the first iteration, and I'll get into more of that here in a second, of solar panels and actual power for your base, including light bulbs. So some of the things I noticed about this is that the wires can only go on the beams of a structure. So they can only go up and down and left and right or across the top, cross beams, whatever. You can see here on the screen where they can go. They can't actually go on the floorboards. So you can't wire the lights into the center of small structures unless you have a beam going across the middle of your structure. I also could not get the lights to go onto a wall, so you can't like have them sideways on a wall or on the floor. You can sink them into things, so you could put them underneath of your floor, and you can also like build your wall and, well, put them in your wall and then build your wall onto them and have light shining through your wall, so you can like hide the light bulb itself and just have the light radiate out from inside of a mesh. When you break them down, like everything else, you do get all of the resources back. And in order to set this system up, it's pretty easy. You just put down a solar panel, you pick up the wire like you do the rope, and you just look at your pillars or beams and you click it, and it'll give you a little arrow and it'll allow you to place it. Keep in mind that the solar panel can go pretty much anywhere as long as it's on the floor of a structure. It shows that you need to put it on a slanted face, but you don't. You can put it on the top of a non-slanted roof or pretty much anywhere that there is floor. Once you have done this and you have everything wired up, you just put a light bulb in your hand and look at where you have wires on one of your beams, and then it'll just give you a down arrow and you click and you will place it there. Now, there is no batteries or anything, and it does not have to be daytime for this to work. It's just like an infinite power source. Once you have a solar panel on a structure, you can just wire up the structure and you can turn the lights on and just leave them on all the time. This is why I said I think this is the first iteration of this. I look for them to fill this out maybe a little bit more with actual batteries and stuff. I feel like this is just them wanting to get an idea in the game, because this is how game development works. You start with something and then you just add to it and add to it till you get it where you want it. But overall, I like where the power system is going and I can't wait to see more. Hopefully we get powered traps. That would be really awesome. Next up, they've added the ability to add ramps to stairs that are facing a wall, so you can actually have stairs in your house. We were able to do this when it first came out with doing a little bit of jank, but then they made some changes to the build system to add other stuff that people wanted, and they broke the jank that allowed us to do this, and now they've just made it an actual thing. As you can see here in the demonstration on screen, you just place down a slanted beam next to a wall and it gives you the option to add in a ramp or stairs. Next, let's talk about the spring trap. The spring trap is absolutely fantastic. It's basically a launch pad. So I've noticed that when the cannibals hit it, they die, and when the mutants hit it, they die. So they fly up in the air and they fall back down and it's an instant death. However, you can hit it and it just acts as a launch pad. You can chain them together and you do gain height when you hit a second one, I noticed. So you hit the first one, you go pretty high, and you land on the second one and it launches you a little bit higher. And as stated before, if you're riding the KnightV, you launch really high. There's a very interesting interaction there between the two of those. What else is also cool about this is, like with a lot of the other structures, when you build it, you can actually hold down C and you just pick it up and you can carry it around and place it wherever you want. These are just really fun and neat, and I would like to have a bunch of these lining my base and be attacked by cannibals and just watch them all go flying into the air, because the ragdoll physics are fantastic. It's one of my favorite traps added to the game, and yeah, I'm going to be using it a lot. The next one was interesting because they said that there is now a working armor rack that used to be the mannequin, but now it's been relabeled to the armor rack. I never really messed with the mannequin before, aka now known as the armor rack, but it's mediocre in my opinion. So basically, you look at it, you hold down E, and then you throw pieces of armor onto it. But what sucks is, like, when you go to use it, you can't just auto-equip all of the armor that is on it or auto-equip all of the armor that you have places for on your person. You pick each piece of it off individually, and then it just goes into your inventory, and then you have to equip it. In my opinion, this makes it rather redundant because you can also just put your armor on shelves. So why not just put your armor on shelves and just pull it off the shelves, which serves the same purpose. In my opinion, an armor rack, like, you should put the armor on it and then it should be like a quick swap thing. You should be able to look at it and instantly quick swap into the armor. That's how most games do armor racks. So I don't know if this is something that'll get changed later or not, but right now that's how it works and it's meh. Last but not least, the other major thing that they added was a delete button for the saves, and they also limited your saves to a total of 30. This was done to apparently fix an issue with the Steam Cloud Sync. I don't know anything about that. I haven't even hit 30 saves yet, but this was definitely something that was needed because before this, the only way to delete your saves was to manually delete them by going into where they are saved at and deleting the actual files. So this was a really nice feature to see. This kind of should have been in the game on release, because it's kind of like save game management should be a thing that's in the core of your game, even when you release into early access, but meh, better late than never, I always say. Now, if we can just get them to give us the ability to name our saves, we'll be good to go in the saves department. Other than that, they just did a bunch of bug fixes and other nonsense, nothing really crazy important from what I could tell. They improved some of the AI and did a bunch of balancing fixes and stuff, nothing too insane. These things that I mentioned in this video are the biggest additions in this most recent patch. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you found this video helpful and informational. If you did, consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other videos. And if you're looking for some more Sons of the Forest content, you can find a link to another one of my videos on the screen right now. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to all of my channel supporters for helping to keep these videos sponsor free. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to become an official channel supporter, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.